Hello again. Oops. I meant to press the button to invite Frank just now, and I inadvertently at least, pressed the finish button. Didn't mean to do that. So now Frank is invited. I had another thought anyways. So, future episodes. I'm on the apologetic side, perhaps. In this thought, yeah, this is a whole episode. This is another episode right now. Apologetics, future episodes. I guess responding to Sean's comment on me not getting it, as it were. So, just in a recent comment on another thread, that kind of like, well, I asked him basically, well, what are your concerns, as it were, with what I said during the conversation with Steve? As it seemed like he was kind of rejecting it all, I thought, well, what did I say wrong, kind of thing. And then he had responded, like, and it's just that I'm trying to be as that, like, please just explain to me, what is it you really mean against me? Or not, what do you mean, what is it that you had against my particular argument, as it were? So, and probably very legitimately, too. I'm not saying that it's not legitimate, just that I just wanted to understand the details. He responded very well in just saying, well, I'm going to get to it point by point. Fine, that's perfect. I understand it. Like, writing it down point by point, don't even get me started. I don't want to do it. So I'm looking forward to the episode, but I know he's really working on doing it point by point. I think he had like 20 comments on the video last night, so I know that there's some thought into it. I keep like justifying why. Anyways, I look forward to what Sean has to say, and I know he's going to do it thoughtfully. But my point, okay, what I was responding to, I guess, was more just the general, and it was a sentiment, not just in that comment, but kind of how, though we've talked about it on the SGPN here several times, like conversations with me about, as we say, why I don't follow Christianity in the way that the different people of the group do. And so then, what is it? She's like looking at me or something. That's weird. There's a woman just walking back and forth around behind the car. I wonder if you see it in the video. Anyhow, just how I don't get it. And I guess that my response to that would be, well, I said that jokingly once to Sean too. I'm like, well, in terms of apologetics, maybe I'm the toughest nut you have to crack, and so that's a great test case. You test it out, you hone your skills on me, as it were, because I know I'm stubborn. But in the way that during those conversations, I feel like I responded to why such arguments didn't work for me, or why I needed a higher level of proof, perhaps. And that if I'm not there now, I hope you don't see that it's not just me not getting it, it's just that me not fully embracing your belief system. As Frank says, it'll come. He says 6 months. 6 months I'll be there. We'll see. Again, that's the test case of, well, we're still processing my video. Why is it giving me warning messages? Oh, good. I hope this works. I hope the other one worked. Sorry, Facebook was just giving me some message about we're still uploading the last video that you stupidly cut off. I don't know why they put it in such a rude way, though. They could have just said it. Anyways, I hope both videos are coming up. Hope I didn't lose anything by... Anyways, what was I? Oh, I have one of those minds that just goes in too many different directions. Let's get it back on track. So, apologetics. Again, like, keep working at it. Future episodes is just keep working at apologetics. That's why I'm here too, is just supporting you in your projects, Sean, in that, you want to do apologetics and to work on that, keeping it cool while you're in the face of someone that's saying some, I want to use the word that he says, intellectually irrational, whatever it was, intellectually, whatever. So you know what I mean? Like when you're faced with that, how to respond without, snapping my neck, as it were. I'm joking, of course. But I mean, like I say, just how to respond to someone who's, as it were, not getting it. So if there's only that, if that's what I can offer, but again, I don't expect to be converted overnight. If that's the path that I'm to go down, as it were, again, I come laying it all on the table and then hoping that, just hoping to find more of the truth. Another little, why don't I invite everybody? Maybe I'll find more of the truth if I invite everyone. Tommy. Do you want to talk to me, Tommy? Sometime. Anytime. So that's why I'm here. Like I say, to open my mind even more. If that's, again, so if I'm not getting it, it's, again, like I said to Frank, there's certain arguments that just don't work for me due to context and whatnot. You talk about old arguments that I'm using, whereas I feel like Frank's are like 2,000 years old. So if mine are 500 years old, no, but in terms of objections to Christianity, I know what you mean, in that for me, these ideas or these things are new. You know, it's the first time I thought about this objection of it, as it were, or that objection, as it were. But perhaps someone had done it, and I watched the one on with William Lane Craig responding to a student in some place about, you know, what was the specific objection the student had? That the Jesus Christ story, if you will, or Jesus Christ's life was reflected in earlier myths of, I can't remember the names of these other ones. Anyways, whatevs, that you understand what I mean. And sort of Steve brought it up in that, you know, the story of Jesus seems to be reflected in other stories of the past, and where William Lane Craig laid it down of like, no, this is sort of the actual links or not links between these stories that are supposedly identical. Oh, there, I did it. I went off track and I don't know what I was talking about. Intellectually. Responding to... Oh, so they... Yeah, sorry. William Lane Craig, he says, well, those were arguments that were basically brought up in the late 1800s. And if you look into it, here's how Christians respond to that, at that high level of philosophy. So if you want to make these arguments philosophical, and I'm just amateur philosophical person, so it's good that Sean points that out to me. Like, here was the highest level of, say, non-Christians making that argument in the 1800s, and the highest level of Christians responding to it from the Christian context back then. Like, again, at a high level. So to bring it up now, it's sort of like, well, you could look into it, and that question was answered, as it were. So that, again, that's good to point out. And I'm glad that, again, like, I encourage Sean to point those things out, so that at least in that particular case too, I didn't know that. And again, like, you can look into like books written on just exactly that one issue of, what was it, Odious? I don't even know. There was another story apparently that seemed fairly similar to the, you know, the birth and Christmas, and the virgin birth and the Christmas and the resurrection and the 3 days, and all this stuff was similar in this other story or some such like this. Again, I have to look into it. I saw William Lane Craig's video, and then I would like to follow up. But again, knowing that that's like 3 hours of watching philosophical videos at the least, right? I'm not going to buy the book, sorry. But if William Lane Craig has a nice long video just breaking that down, that would be great for me to watch. And then I would know that sort of thing. And so when Sean says these old arguments that I have, or old objections, again, then I can see that more sussed out, because I'm not the philosophical type. I think I play one on Seeking Truth sometimes, but really I'm amateur at best, right? We're talking beginner level. So I know Sean's looked a lot more into these things, especially from the apologetic side. So that whole point was, yeah, I'm not getting it, but I think my way of getting it is by communicating what I believe in shorter videos, so it's more consumable. And again, I appreciate Sean pointing out that that guy's going one way. Holy shit. Check this out. Do you see that truck there? He's just came the wrong way down the one way. Look, the car's trying to get through. Oh, fuck, man. These people are crazy. Did I say that I have a mind that wanders? That was what I was talking about. So sometimes I get going on something, and then I have it's like a squirrel mind, right? The dog looking out. No, the dog's mind is like, squirrel! And then we got to rein it in, and then I got to think about it and back it up. And so that, why is everyone looking at me so funny? I'm not that funny looking. It's a purse. Got to rein it in. Got to learn to rein it in and get back to the point. So we were talking about apologetics, and Sean pointing out those more deep level philosophical arguments, because I try and get into it, and I don't like it because it's just too philosophical sometimes. It's like, I don't care. I want to live my real life, and philosophy is just it's just heavy, and it's just like background stuff for me. But I do appreciate that, and I know that Sean's looked a lot more into it than I have. He's got bookshelves of these things, and I've got math textbooks on my bookshelf. So anyways, all to say, oh, this is getting super long. Darn, I just said I was going to make short videos. Okay, talk to you soon.